unsurprising. This is the biggest fight in Japanese history between two, elite Japanese fighters. Okay, so you think it's a 55-45, and I can imagine a scenario if it's a legitimately great fight, and Inoue wins, then where you get a rematch. But it's easier for me to imagine a rematch, whatever happens, if Nakatani wins, because Inoue is a bigger star, is a bigger commercial kind of property.
Junto Nakatani entered his biggest career fight fully locked in against Naoya Inoue. Nakatani stayed calm and confident under pressure. While most backed Inoue, Junto relied on his discipline, sharp technique, and high work rate. Nakatani is sharpening his footwork and hand speed in training as he prepares for the Naoya Inoue fight. On the other side, Naoya Inoue is also training, sharpening his timing, speed, and explosive combinations. Inoue stayed locked in throughout camp, showing intensity and discipline as he prepared for a major fight. Coppinger viewed the matchup as closer than expected, calling it a close fight in favor of Naoya Inoue. Coppinger emphasized that Inoue is already a future Hall of Famer, deserving full respect heading into the bout.
I'm with Malik, Max. I think this is much closer to a 55-45 fight, maybe in favor of Inoue. And look, Inoue is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. He's an all-time great, so he deserves that respect.
However, Max Kellerman called Naoya Inoue a super fighter for his elite speed, reflexes, explosive power, and rare twitchiness that separates him from other fighters. He rated Junto Nakatani as excellent, but not on the same level, and favored Inoue for his clear edge in athleticism and reaction speed.
And I understand styles make fights. I get it. But in this case, I guess what I'm reacting to is Inoue is what I consider one of these super fighters. His speed, his reflexes, his power. Mike, what's the word I always like to use? The
Twitchies?
Twitchies are different, right? They're elite. And Junto is like as good as it gets for a normally excellent fighter.
Malik Scott didn't view Junto Nakatani as a real underdog. Scott acknowledged the odds, but believed the skill level told a different story. He noted that while Naoya Inoue looked sharper in his last fight, Nakatani had faced tougher opposition and handled it well. In the end, Malik Scott leaned toward Nakatani, saying a win wouldn't be an upset given his technique, discipline, and work rate.
What I'm really not big on is I just don't see Junto as that big of an underdog. Numbers wise, he may be, but skill wise. And you said something else that went to my mind, that both of their last times out, Inoue looked more impressive. But if we're talking about who fought the better opposition, I would say Nakatani fought the tougher guy. Inoue, he fought, I believe it was Picasso. That fight was a good fight, and Picasso did good things, but I thought Nakatani did very good in that way. And I also think, I just won't be surprised. And as you all know, I already have. I'm going with Junto as the favorite in this, as far as my personal. So it won't be a big upset to me. I can't see someone with his type of technically sound game, with his system, with his work rate. I just don't see guys like that ever as an underdog in any type of fight they're in.
Meanwhile, Teddy Atlas noted that Nakatani could be the fighter to shake up the division. Atlas backed Naoya Inoue, but made it clear he isn't dismissing the threat. He warned that the matchup shouldn't be taken lightly or rushed. Teddy described Nakatani as a serious risk, skilled and sharp enough to turn everything upside down if the timing was right.
If anyone could upset the apple cart, I think it would be Nakatani. I don't think Inoue and his people should. I'm not saying they shouldn't fight him at the right time, but that's the kind of fight you don't jump. because that could upset the apple cart. He's that good. I'm not saying he beats Inoue. I ain't going against Inoue, but I'm saying that that's a big risk.
Teddy Atlas praised Nakatani, a rangy fighter who can control distance and dictate pace from the outside. Atlas explained that he should force opponents to take risks just to close the gap, then punish them with sharp counters. He noted that Junto would use timing and spacing to stay in control and would be difficult to pressure in a potential matchup.
Nakatani is a guy who makes really most of his living on the outside, bud, where he controls range, he makes you take chances, he counters real, he's a good puncher, he's technically solid, he makes you take chances, he counters you, he doesn't let you get close. You know, he makes you go through a bad neighborhood and then he mugs you. That's what Nakatani does. That's when he's at his best.
Agreeing with Teddy Atlas, Robert Garcia warned that Naoya Inoue still had a real challenge in Nakatani and that he was being underestimated. Garcia sees Nakatani as a strong, dangerous fighter with real power who could keep the fight competitive. He noted Inoue had been dropped before, but said those opponents didn't have the same threat as Nakatani. Still, Robert leaned toward Inoue in a tough, high-level fight.
Inoue has a challenge against Nakatani. People might be counting him out. Nakatani is a very dangerous fighter, man. His style is one of those tough, strong fighters that has tremendous power. It's gonna be I think Nakatani's gonna put up a great fight. He's got great power. Inoue's been dropped a couple times. I don't think the fighters that Inoue has been dropped are as good or have the power that Nakatani has. You know, Nakatani's a solid guy, man, and he's gonna put up a good fight. I still pick Inoue, yes, but it's gonna be a really good fight. I think that's gonna be a great fight. So I can't wait for that one. Also,
furthermore, Bruce Carrington explained Naoya Inoue wasn't a pure pressure fighter, but still had a stronger inside game than Junto Nakatani. Carrington noted that Nakatani struggled in close range, often uncomfortable in the pocket and reliant on creating space to reset. Once that distance was taken away, Junto's defense broke down, and he became vulnerable to basic inside shots. Still, Bruce pointed out that Inoue had also been caught when he got aggressive and walked into counters.
The guy's style that Nakatani fought is not like Inoue. Like, Inoue is not gonna be no pressure fighter, you know, but I will say Inoue has a better inside game than Nakatani. Like, in the inside is where Nakatani has huge holes. It's not like minor holes. He has huge holes, bro, in his game. And he wants to create space all the time. Like, he feels very uncomfortable when you're uptight, you know, close with him. So if Inoue could use his height disadvantage to his, you know, advantage, I feel like he can definitely, you know, get some nice combinations in there and, you know, put Nakatani out. Because Nakatani was getting hit with some big shots from the inside with, like, shots that you wouldn't even have to, like, be super sharp to get out of the way from. Nakatani's still a problem, though, and we've seen Inoue get knocked down by him being, like, getting overzealous, just jumping in and getting caught with certain shots.
Bruce also believed Nakatani still had the timing to line Inoue up and cause problems in key exchanges. Carrington noted that both fighters had clear strengths and weaknesses, but he felt Naoya Inoue held the bigger overall advantages. Bruce admitted he was uncertain before, but Nakatani's last fight revealed more visible holes in his game. In the end, Carrington leaned toward Inoue, suggesting he could exploit those flaws and potentially stop Nakatani.
So Nakatani can line him up. He has great timing. You know, so there are some pros and cons, you know, some disadvantages and advantages for both fighters. But I think in a way he has them, like, out of all of them, he has the biggest pros. And I think he could mess around and stop Nakatani. Before I was like, I don't know. But after that last fight with Nakatani, I'm like, no, he got some really big holes in his game.
However, Bam Rodriguez leaned toward Naoya Inoue, pointing to his greater experience at the weight as a key advantage in high-pressure situations. Rodriguez explained that Inoue's time in the division gave him a sharper edge when things got tense. Still, he didn't fully dismiss Nakatani, noting that his one-punch power made him dangerous at any moment. In the end, Bam expected Inoue to win, but acknowledged Nakatani's threat kept the matchup competitive on paper.
I think Inoue wins the fight, just because he has more experience. He's been in the weight division longer than Nakatani has, so I do favor Inoue, but Nakatani, he does have a chance as well just because he has that kind of one-punch power.
An analyst advised that Inoue would likely start the fight cautiously and avoid early exchange. Jez with Junto Nakatani, he noted that Nakatani had strong early knockout ability, with 4 of his last 5 fights ending before the 6th round. The analyst suggested Inoue's edge would come if he could extend the fight, using his experience, timing, and explosive movement to counter between shots.
Naoya Inoue is a very calculated boxer, and I don't think he would trade with Junto Nakatani early in the fight. I don't see it. Junto, if you look at his over his last 5 fights, 4 of those 5 fights haven't gone past the 6th round. He gets knockouts early in fight. It would favor Naoya Inoue to take Junto past the 6th round and use his experience, use his craft, use those explosive legs he got to punch in between the shots and sharpshoot Junto, because Junto has gotten very good at operating from mid-range and long range.
Meanwhile, Sean Zettel describes that Junto Nakatani carried real knockout danger, especially with his right hook, but relied heavily on landing his left hand to change the fight. Zettel noted that Nakatani didn't need many openings, just 1 or 2 clean moments where he could fully extend his power shot. He added that Nakatani's best chance would come from timing Naoya Inoue's coming in, potentially catching him with a right hook as he stepped forward with his chin exposed.
Nakatani has a right hook knockout shot, but basically he's gonna live and die a little bit more off landing that left hand. And the thing is, Nakatani, he may only need 1 or 2 or 3 big moments in that fight to beat Inoue.
Right.
He's just got to line him up and get full extension on his left hand, on his power, or catch Inoue on a right hook coming in with his chin up.
John Zettel favored Naoya Inoue as the more complete fighter with more ways to win. Zettel said a win over Junto Nakatani would further cement Inoue's legacy, already seen by many as the greatest Japanese fighter of all time. He added that another dominant performance would shut down any remaining debate about his place in boxing history, locking in his status among the all-time greats. Sean noted Inoue's legacy was already secure, but a knockout over Nakatani would only elevate it further.
I favor Inoue. He's capable of doing more things. If Inoue wins this fight, I know we had fighting Harada and guys like Yoko
Goishin.
Yes, you would know that more than me, but a lot of people already feel he's the greatest Japanese fighter of all time. This would just slam the door shut, cement it, forget about it. This would seal his legacy to where his legacy's already sealed. He's already first ballot, but if he knocks out Nakatani, it becomes that much more who gives a shit if he gets, iced at some point as he loses athleticism and fights bigger men at 26.
On the other hand, Timothy Bradley Jr. believed Junto Nakatani had the tools to beat Naoya Inoue, pointing to his skill set and physical advantages. Bradley explained that if Nakatani executed the right game plan, he could realistically cause a major upset in a potential matchup between the two.
I believe that Nakatani has the possibility or has the ability to beat Naoya Inoue. I'm going to tell y'all right now, this is the one guy that I believe in the lower weight classes has everything it takes to beat Inoue.
Meanwhile, Andre Rozier sees Naoya Inoue as the clear favorite in a potential fight with Junto Nakatani, viewing Inoue as the stronger name in a major matchup. Rozier showed respect for Nakatani, but pointed out that much of the boxing world is more focused on an Inoue versus Bam type of fight. He also praised Bam's team for guiding his development, while stressing that Bam should fully settle into the higher weight class before taking on that level of opposition.
Who you got between Inoue and Nakatani?
Inoue.
Okay, I thought you would say that. It kind of seems, he is the favorite, and that is a mega fight, so much respect to Nakatani. I think he's an amazing fighter. But it really seems like the fight is Inoue and Bam.
Right.
It seems like the fight, man.
Everyone is waiting for that fight. I think that Robert's done a fantastic job with Bam also. I mean, really. With his whole team, to tell you the truth. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a good fight. I'd like to see Bam acclimate to a new weight class first
instead of jumping right into that fire, because that is real fire there.
Lance Pugmire described the matchup as a major event, noting that Junto Nakatani's previous performance didn't reflect his best form, likely due to certain factors around the fight. Pugmire stressed that one outing doesn't define a fighter's true ability, especially heading into a high-stakes clash like this. He added that despite that, the bout still carries huge significance and remains one of the most anticipated fights in boxing.
This is a huge event, massive event. And regardless of how Nakatani didn't look spectacular in his last fight, there's some reasons for that also, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, as you're talking about a guy that he took on in Sebastian Hernandez is a tough hombre. I mean, Rudy Hernandez talks about it, I believe, in this interview where he says, you know, like, we had some information that Sebastian Hernandez was over there in Japan and actually was brought in to spar with Naoya Inoue for less than a week. I mean, he was just a lot for Inoue to deal with, and he only lasted a week. He you know, according to Rudy Hernandez, they basically sent him out. Now, is that spin? I don't know, but that's what Rudy Hernandez says, and we did see that Hernandez gave Nakatani such a tough time in Saudi Arabia. So
this fight has a boxing split with no clear prediction on what happens next. Whether it's a dominant win or a close war, it could define both careers and reshape the division. Subscribe, like, and turn on notifications for more boxing breakdown.